Red, red wine goes to my head.
Hi, this is Beat the Butterfly, and I am at the wine library at the Roger Smith Hotel tonight, and I am honored to be here with Gary V. Yay!
Yay.
Besides wine,
Yeah,
there is clearly an intention. There was something that inspired you beyond wine.
yeah.
What was it? What was the moment that said to you, okay, I want to give something back to other people? That you said, okay, I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to do something big.
It was a perfect storm of seeing YouTube in 2005, early February, March of 2005. Then that summer, there was a show called Zay Frank the Show. Zay was a pioneer in the space, and I was like, wow, that guy's really talented. But more importantly than that, my developers at winelibrary.com were obsessed with him. And I was like, and I wanted to like prove, I was like, Zay's not that great, I can do that. So I wanted to prove to them that I could do it as well. There's a little bit of that, but most importantly, way more important than those factors was I wanted to change the culture of wine in America. I felt that wine was up here, and I felt that I could bring wine a little bit more down here, and that I would talk to people, not down to them, about wine. And I felt like wine deserved to be out there, and it was a big passion of mine. And so I added my knowledge of where technology was going. You know, I knew it was becoming more social. You know, Friendster, MySpace. I was like, this stuff is going in a very interesting direction. I started using Twitter very early on, and that became it. And so I leveraged those platforms to get a message out that it might have been the right message to, you know, people that wanted to learn about this subject, and that's a very big accomplishment that I'm very proud of.
Let's talk about your parents for a
Yes.
second, because you know clearly this was a family business previously,
still
and
is.
when you
I lived to make my
took
parents
something,
proud.
okay, so you lived to make your parents proud, but when you initially started talking to them about your vision for change.
My mom was always on board.
Okay,
To
okay,
Pops.
okay. So dad. Okay,
Yeah,
so
big
so
Sash.
so so when you initially started
Yeah.
talking to your dad about vision for change,
Are we talking Are we talking winelibrary.com 1997?
Anything.
Because by the time Wine Library TV came around,
he was already on.
yeah, I was
Okay.
already.
I think a lot of people go through this period of change where they have their parents as people that were involved in the beginnings of their career
Sure.
or their family business,
Sure.
and they always want to make them proud
Yeah.
and care.
I feel that way every day.
And so, how did you honor your parents and convince them and bring them
Yeah.
on board?
Dad deserves a lot of credit. I mean, I was a very punk kid talking a lot of trash about how I was going to build the biggest wine shop ever, and the fact that he believed and gave me the freedom to, you know, my dad's an interesting guy. He's a tough old school dude, but he very, very much supported me because I think he saw it. You know, I give him credit for recognizing it. You know, I think a lot of people have children that are really talented and have the chops, but they're still too hungry or to do it themselves, or they're competitive, or they're stuck in the I'm the dad and you're the son. But my dad recognized it and gave me the freedom to change the game, and I was able to build up the business very quickly. You know, we went from $3 to $10 million in sales right away, and you know, numbers don't lie. You know, you start making
Sure.
You know,
and
he
dad
gave-
says, "Oh my God."
Dad says, okay, why don't you keep playing with this? You know, so I feel as though he deserves the majority of the credit because he was the dad at the time and gave me the opportunity. On the flip side, you know, I know that if that first year didn't go well, that history is different. So, you know, it's you know, my mom is the greatest human being of all time. So, I mean, you know, the way she parented me and the kind of person she made me is the complete foundation to why I'm successful. Every part of it. No matter, you know, I'm going to buy the New York Jets, which means I'm going to be a billionaire. So, you know, what comes along with being a billionaire is you start getting higher in yourself and you start reading your own hype. My mom did such a good job that all the hoopla, all the stuff that goes on with me is literally stuff that I don't even process. I still want to be the nicest human being. I still want to be the person that opens the door. Still want to be the person that cares more for the person than me. And I think that's a very deadly weapon, to care about people. And
Why is it? Wait, I want to stop you right there.
Okay.
Why is that a deadly weapon? I think that's actually an amazing thing.
remember, you have to understand, for all the amazingness that this brings me, at the same token, there's some tough days when you're just giving and giving and giving, and you're just baffled. But forget about an inch and a mile. You're giving 5 miles, and people
Okay.
want, the whole country. I mean, there are painful moments when you're really giving. It's a very, very difficult game to play, but rarely. Those 4 or 5 times a year when you're like, why?
Okay.
Other than that,
I
it's
see a
phenomenal.
wedding ring. So
Yes.
tell us about your wife.
My wife, Lizzie, is,
How'd you meet her?
I met her on J-Date.
Shh.
I dropped her off at her apartment after our first date, and I called her probably 3 minutes after I dropped her off after our first date, and
So-
basically said to her,
This is it.
Anybody in this earth ever married their mother? It was
you.
My wife and my mom are the
I love it.
are the same person.
Okay, so
Except my mom is a huge procrastinator, and Lizzie is an executor.
even though you're the wine guy,
Right.
you are so beyond that in terms of your level of inspiration for other people. You think about this on a day-to-day basis, and,
Yes.
you go online. Do you think about inspiring other people?
I'm scared about the inspiration part of my career. I'm scared of it because I'm scared to be known for it. And not that there's anything wrong to be known for it, because it's actually very powerful. And I think it's probably one of the things that, probably my hardest core fans come from the fact that they get some form of inspiration from me. I'm also so obsessed with my business chops that I'm scared that people are going to view me as a motivational speaker and not as what I like to, and by the way, I'm thrilled to be viewed as, listen, I'm very aware why people would, compare me to those kind of things, and I'm aware of why people compare me to a variety of different things. I'm in a place now, even though it may be just tens of thousands of people and not millions of people, that I'm very aware that I shouldn't screw up. Though, that being said, the second that pops in my head, I laugh it off because I'm like, I wouldn't screw up if nobody was watching. So, yeah, I think about it. Of course I do. I think about what it means. I think about branding and marketing all the time. I think about my life. I look within myself so much. I'm writing a new chapter in Thank You Economy that wasn't going to be there because on Friday I realized I think my biggest advantage is self-awareness. I'm very aware of why some people could be turned off by my high energy or my East Coast bravado. It is okay because I know I'm going to work hard to actually eventually meet them, and then they'll see who I really am. I would never say that I'm the guy that doesn't care what people think, because I do. I do. I like being liked. It's comfortable for me. I love people so much, and so it's important to me. I care what people think, but at the end of the day, I probably don't care what anybody thinks. It's one
Right.
of those.
No,
It's
of
one of
course.
those yin and yang things.
I totally
And I
get
think I have a lot of yin and yang type things, and I think that's where my strength comes from.
Shiva, there are so many people that have family businesses,
Yeah.
very successful young people,
Yeah.
who work with their parents.
How do you
and
break through?
how not only how do you break through, how do you work with your parents? How do you become yourself? How do you show?
The best thing I can say, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Because this is a big one. You
Okay.
recording?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Now that I'm in a new angle, I feel even more
Wait,
refreshed.
am I being part
Yes,
of
you
the
can be
thing?
part of it.
Good, good.
I would say that you have to respect your parents. I think that is the biggest thing that a parent wants. To have the strength for you to execute the things you believe in. And any parent that doesn't give parents need to give just enough room for a child not to screw up the whole business, but let them show you what they've got. I think that it's a balance of respect while still being very firm. I respect my dad, but there was going to be no two cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
I was like, Dad, I need you to let me do this because you and I are so different. I see white, you see black. I see half full, you see half empty. We're just very different. For me, business is totally about culture. I wanted to instill a totally different culture.
You had a vision.
I had a vision. And to my dad's credit, because I think I respected him back, we were able to pull it off. So respect, but don't listen.
And you are so much bigger than the wine industry, even that's what you are. I think that's a huge tribute to what you've accomplished.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Gary V! Gary V! Woo!